I'll ask if Nailah Pope-Harden could answer first.
Yeah, it's pronounced Nailah.
I apologize,
No worries.
excuse me.
No worries. So thank you so much for hosting this forum and inviting us up. I am happy to see many friendly faces here today. So I think I have an organizing background. I've been a community organizer for the last 12 years at this point. And one of the things that I strongly believe in is co-creating, especially if we're going to talk about things like implementing equity. That needs to be, the students that are already disproportionately impacted need to be at the table, community needs to be at the table, and families need to be at the table creating solutions. So when you ask me what actions I will take, I will say I will bring community to the table so we can make these together, because it's not just me. And I think the last thing we need is a whole bunch of folks at a diocese making decisions. Even though I come from the community and am well versed in the needs of the community, we need to make sure that we're amplifying and hearing their voices. So I think that's like number one, just making sure that we're bringing community to the table. And then along with that, I think community partnerships are super important. There's a lot of groups that are doing great work, and we want to build those partnerships so there's more representation and more diversity on our school campuses. Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those questions where I wish I had more than 2 minutes so we could really delve into some of this, but I will start with a state takeover is absolutely something we don't want. The last thing we want to see is any type of accountability or control taken out of the hands of the board, community representatives, and put into bureaucracy. That would compound this even worse. I think, you know, I have been organized, like I said, I've been organizing for about 12 years. A lot of that time was in partnership with SEIU 1021. So I have relationships with the union. I'm endorsed by SEIU 1021 and SCTA. And so I have those relationships. And while I'm endorsed by them, who I'm accountable to is my community and my district. And so that is, I think, one of the reasons why they're supporting me is because they understand that even though we may not agree, most of the decisions, all the decisions I'm gonna make are value-based. And so I have no interest in carrying anybody else's baggage. And so whatever the district and the board are dealing with, right, and the unions are dealing with right now, it's not on me to take that on. And so I think we need to, it's good to have fresh eyes. It's good to have a fresh start in this race. Oh goodness, come on baby. It's good to have fresh eyes and a fresh start in this race. And also understand that we're rebuilding relationships, and I come to the table with some of those relationships already at hand. Thank you. Yeah, you know, so for this, I'm gonna give like the long-term answer, which is, we need to be advocating for more funding, and as the district gets more funding, we need to be putting it towards counselors and nurses and everybody who can help with the well-being and ensuring the mental health of our students. But that's a long-term game, and so immediately we need to be doing what we can do now. Last week was hard, right? When the Breonna Taylor verdict came out, I took the day off of work. And I was just thinking, like, what about our students who have to do math problems, that have to write essays, that are expected to do, like, on top of everything, like, life is just compounding on top of compounding right now. And we need to be able to offer respites for our students. And that's something that I think needs to happen immediately. We need to find a way for our teachers, for our schools to hold space for our students. I was talking to a couple of high schoolers at McClatchy, and they were like, can't my school pay for a Zoom so we could just like hang out? I mean, we need to be thinking innovatively for our students and giving them the type of space and community that they need to be able to have conversations, to be able to talk about some of the ideas, some of the anger and all of that. And so I think we have to be intentional. And again, because of my background, like, we have to include the students in these solutions as much as we can. Who are we to be a bunch of stuffy adults to talk about how we're going to help the well-being of and the mental health of some of these students who can advocate for themselves? Like, how great will we be if we teach them to be better advocates now? So long-term, we absolutely need more funding to get these resources at school, but we can't waste time waiting for that to come. We need to start thinking of innovative solutions immediately.